Good afternoon. Dennis Ledford, Coldwell Banker First Realtors. I'm here today with Tera Davis, our loan representative with Academy Mortgage, and things are always changing in the mortgage market, as you know, and a lot of the questions that come up, what's more important, waiting to get a good price or waiting to preserve a good rate? And I have a few questions of Tera, and we're going to ask them today, and I think she'll give you some information that'll be valuable if you're trying to decide to wait for a lower price or the market to change in the pricing of homes, or is it more important to protect low rate? So Tera, what I would say goes right along with that. We're at a record low rate piece right now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Everything I see, the journal, that it's never been this low. My whole career, 40 years, I've never seen it this low, so I think it's pretty true. Mm-hmm. What exactly does it really mean for anybody interested in buying a new home?
Well, that's a great question. So interest rates, if you were to compare today, which are sitting about 3.25% to a few years ago at 5%, you actually have more buying power. If I use a $200,000 loan as comparison, you would save yourself $200 a month with a 3.25% interest rate versus the then 5% interest rates. That's a lot of buying power right there. In fact, if you didn't want to just save that $200 in your pocket, you could go out and buy a $250,000 home for the same exact price as a $200,000 home. That's quite a big difference.
It really is. I've heard that comment, and I was at a class I told Tera where the mortgage broker there was talking about just exactly the same thing. And I think one of the things he did say that there is more of a risk of the rates going up than them going down any further. And I think that ties with my next question. What direction do you see the rates heading?
Well, I think that it's safe to say that we're going to see rates stay at the level where they're at, possibly drop a little bit, but like you said, I mean, the risk of them going up is great. So my suggestion with interest rates is I hate to see anyone gamble, especially with that large amount of money. If you think about a 3.25% interest rate today versus say it goes down to 3%, it's only a $26 a month savings on that same $200,000 example, or $10,000 over the life of the loan. But if you think about that starting to go up and you miss out on that lower interest rate, that's quite the gamble to play. So 3.25% interest rate is a great rate. I wouldn't hold out for lower rates. I wouldn't anticipate them dropping that much to make that big of a difference.
Well, Tera, then going back to what we talked about earlier, if the rate went up, let's say 2%, that's the big difference in what they can afford.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I've seen rates make changes in a week, make a 2% swing, depending on what's going on in the economy and how things are moving.
Absolutely. We actually have seen interest rates in the last few months start to come back up to 3.75%, even up to 4%. Mm-hmm. So, yep, there is that. Yeah.
Good change. Yep. Well, I think the other piece I always like to talk to Tera about, what would somebody interested in buying a new home and they want to start, I always feel all of my brokers here want you to be pre-qualified. You want to tell the audience right now that process again, how they can reach you and what they would need to bring in? Absolutely.
So we use a rule of two. We're going to look at the last 2 years of your employment, where you've lived, your assets, income, everything. And so it's a really good idea to get started early, get pre-approved, get your credit pulled, so that you know exactly what you're capable of buying and you're looking in the right price range. Maybe there's some things that pull up on the credit that need to be fixed. We can help with all of that. So it is important to get in with a lender as soon as possible.
Well, I think that's key, because there's no need to set your expectations at $250 when you can only afford $200. And that's what realtors look at. Brokers don't want to waste your time or their time in looking at properties you can't afford. But Tera's here every workday from 9 till 4 or 5,
yep.
But you can be reached by cell, and what's that number again, Tera?
At 240-5463, and I'm available weekends as well.
Well, thank you. I'd like to keep you all informed on what's going on in lending, because guess what? You can't buy a house without a loan unless you're one of that 2% few that can pay cash. Thanks again, Tera, and we'll have her back in about a month.